Hello, everybody. This is Park Talks with Observant and Eagle-Eye.
What's up?
Today, we are celebrating having gotten 5 subscribers, and it's time for our 5 subscriber special. Today, we have our special backseat guest, Noob 444.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Handshake.
Oh, yeah.
Asterisks handshake.
All right. So Tayden and Marquette broke up. It's a big nasty breakup, but we heard you had you found out some stuff about it.
Yeah, we've brought on an expert.
Oh yeah. So I was texting Tayden earlier today.
Ooh.
He was telling me all about it, just venting his emotions. He was a wreck. It was crazy.
Mm.
And then I met with him earlier today.
Today?
Yeah. And he had a little plastic bag he said he bought on the black market. I asked him what it was, and he didn't want to tell me.
Oh, shoot.
And
Really?
it was just the weirdest thing.
Oh,
I
no.
think he's going crazy. And then he started snorting it.
Snorting? He's on to
Yes.
snorting?
Snorting?
Yeah. And then his eyes went yellow like he was going to strike at me. And I'm just like, I was just sitting here over here fearing for my life. It's
wow.
just-
Who's here?
oh.
Fellas, we've been shoot. So not to worry you at home, but we've been found.
Well,
We usually record in a pretty secret spot as to not disturb anyone.
yeah, last week it was underneath Marquette's window.
Wait, no, that was my phone that fell.
Yeah, it was. We'll get it later. Okay, forgive us, folks.
What?
We'll have to pause
Okay,
for a
what
minute.
Sorry there, folks. I dropped my phone.
Yeah, it was.
Setting it in a safe location, along with my wallet.
I believe it was the work of Tayden, personally.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot, and I've heard a lot, that he's kind of off, as you said, snorting and everything.
yeah.
So, have we heard anything about Marquette and what she's doing?
I have. Your boy has.
Oh yeah, she just called us, huh?
She just called me.
Okay, wait. Before
Right
we
before we were about to,
record
shoot this.
All right, so wait. Before we continue, we gotta take our hats off to Tayden going down the drug area.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, yeah.
it's sad to see
Oh, yeah. Poor Tayden.
someone of such a high regard in the community fall.
Right.
But as I say that, I realize he hasn't lost support,
No.
I've been talking around my circles, my social circles.
You
and,
have those? I thought
I-
they kicked you out.
Well, this is before they kicked me out.
Ah, I see.
See? Yeah, I'm just remembering. Yeah, they seem to be still gravitating toward Tayden.
Really?
Yeah, not so much love for Marquette anymore.
Well, I mean, she is kind of a beehole sometimes.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly in here.
Okay, well, in other words, let's go on to our next subject that we really want to talk about. And we wanted to talk about night games.
Specifically, Fugitive.
Now, Eagle-Eye,
Yes.
why don't you go ahead and explain the rules of Fugitive for our viewers at home?
So, there are many varying, rules you can add and take off, but the premise of the game is you have, people, hunters, cops, whatever you want to refer to them as, in a smaller
Rapists.
group. And then you have the larger group as runners, as robbers, as hiders,
Right.
You have that group of people. And the hiders, the runners, their job is to get from point A to point B, sometimes back to point A, sometimes to point C,
Right.
with varying levels of proof required. Sometimes it's just an honor thing, like make sure you do it. Sometimes you need photo evidence. But in the meanwhile, the cops or the hunters are trying to find people and put them by name. I've heard this been played with, like, guns and stuff, airsoft guns. And,
Really?
yeah, you shoot them if you see them.
So, there's 2 ways you can play it, or a few others, I guess. But you can play it on a smaller scale in just a yard, or you can be like us homeboys down here in Utah
Amen.
and do large scale. So, down here in Utah, there's this religious organization called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Never heard of them.
Also known as Mormons. And they have
those
churches everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
And, so, the best way, one of the things we like to do is start from someone's house and try to get to one of these churches, because they won't get upset with you if you're on their
They're
grounds.
not
or anything.
upset, and it's a very lit area. Not
Yeah.
in that, lots of things are happening. the party's pumping and whatnot. But
Yeah.
there's lots of streetlights around
Yeah.
the parking.
And it's safe. And then the cops or hunters will be in vehicles and trying to track them down. They don't necessarily hit them, but they have their headlights, and if they shine their headlights on them, they have to go with them.
And name them, because a lot of
Yeah.
it's varying different rules, But
Right.
this is just how we play.
So, the other day, I actually had a party at my house for once, and I invited tons of people. These two were both there. in
You had
attendance.
family down, right? Because
Yes,
we
I
weren't at
did.
the college anymore. We were at your house.
No, I had family down from
Yeah.
Minnesota. Rochester, more specifically. But indeed. So we'd like to talk about some of our personal stories with Fugitive, and then we're gonna try and lay down some pro strats for you.
Yes, of course. In that, we played one game of Fugitive at
But it was the large scale one.
Observance. It was a very large scale
At least-
at Observance Party. And me and him have very different, varying levels of success and what we, strategy that we use. So I'll let you explain your strategy first.
Well, we'll do strats after story. Because that don't make
I'll
more
let you
sense,
tell
'cause-
your story first.
Alright, and also, Noob, if you want, you can add your story too. You don't have to be necessarily out of this.
Oh no, I'm just trying to get over what happened to Tatum, but that's okay.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I forget we have a special guest.
No!
Welcome to the stage.
Back seat.
Back
Back
seat.
seat guest.
Backspeed?
Because we're in a
that's
car,
word.
FYI. So anywho,
That's why it's called Park Talks.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we're parked in a car. Don't tell anyone. Anywho, so from my house, there's two ways you could have gone to get to.
They found us again. Keep on the down low.
Sorry about that. We just had a weird situation. Where we're parked, a car drove by with a guy with a flashlight out looking around.
You'll never believe it. They were playing Fugitive.
I'm 100% certain that they were playing it because they looked younger, maybe. But anywho,
I recognized the vehicle. It looks like somebody's mom's vehicle.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
So anyway, from my house, there's two ways you could have gone to get there. Those the way that I personally knew because where I live, I was very familiar with the area. Everyone else was from out of town, and everyone else went the other way. So I went this way, and I was running, and I caught up with some of my friends that had, including Noob, who had run ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was with them. Their names were Kerr and the Wolford.
Yeah.
Uh,
And,
yeah, I remember.
So I was with
Don't know
them.
him too well.
And after about a quarter of a mile, we got to this bridge that I have in my town. It separates one part of the city from the other. It's not that big of a bridge.
Oh, yeah.
But we decided to go under it because it was a road and we didn't want them to I gotta pause again, sorry. Sorry about the interruptions. This is really getting out of hand.
Because
Anywho,
actually, we're recording in the evening, so it's fairly dark out. So when we see headlights driving straight towards the car, we get a little concerned. So we pause the audio recording just in case.
right. Anywho, we were at the bridge, and there was cars driving over the bridge, and so we wanted to go underneath it. And we were trying to find a way to cross. It wasn't that deep it was like a creek. And it wasn't that deep, but there was some places where it's easier to cross. And so Kerr, Noob, and Wolford went to the right. And I went to the left under the bridge, and they started to follow me, but then they just found a way and didn't tell me about it, and they crossed over.
Oh, Observant, would you like me to elaborate on that?
Well, when it's your turn from the story.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
you're
makes
going
sense.
last because you're the special backseat guest. So you're
Oh.
talking the back.
Yeah, we're in the front seats,
That's
because I can drive. Anywho, so I went under the bridge and went onto the other side and crossed. I stepped in the water. It sucked. But I got separated. So I ran ahead, because I didn't know where they were, and I caught up to this guy and his team, this group that he was with. It was Eagle-Eye, by the way. And he was also with
Je ne sais pas.
YouTuber Sean Kelsey. Check him out. We might have him as a backseat guest someday.
No?
We might not.
Well, no, I mean, I wasn't with him.
Oh, you were ahead of him, though. He was behind you. It was like the big collective group that you were in.
Oh! Okay, you're talking about that point in time. I thought you were a lot later.
No.
I didn't realize how close you were to my group.
Well, yeah, I ran up behind you, and right at that point,
Oh.
Eden, the guy that was in the cop,
Yes.
drives around the corner, and Sean jumps behind a tree into the shadows, and I jump in after him because I'm just running up to the group, and he gets everyone else. So me and Sean, we sneak away from the tree, and we go through this apartment complex, and we get out of the apartment complex. It's really ghetto over there, and we start running down the road, and we went through the back streets of my hometown and tried to get to this church. And the whole time, the Mission Impossible theme song was running through my head, but because I just watched those movies that day. And so we got to the church, but we couldn't get there because they decided to park right in front of it. This was after about an hour of playing the game.
Yeah, which you should always establish beforehand a rule of, what's called puppy guarding, or
Yeah.
that's the
I
term
don't know
that we
what they were
use
doing,
here.
so we couldn't get there. And Sean had the thought that we were supposed to go back to my house. So we started going back to my house, and we went past this elementary school.
Hello?
Sorry for all the interruptions. Eagle-Eye just got a call from a friend of his.
Eagle-Eye is technically not off work, and so
I guess so.
still have
Anywho, we
people
went back.
calling me.
We were going back by this elementary school that I used to go to, and we got separated. Corey came at us, and we both ran two different ways. I ran down this one street and decided that since we were the last two even out, that I was just gonna give myself up for Sean, and so I did. I was caught, and about 20 minutes later, Sean decided to give himself up too, and that was my experience playing Fugitive.
See, and from all I know in all my years of Fugitive, I always have the same story. I'm not fast, so I stand no chance. But this time I sort of stood a chance.
Oh.
So me and Observant here were planning on leaving together, but unfortunately, as we were leaving his house, something obstructed him and me, and we didn't end up traveling together.
I told
So-
you to, but you didn't come with me.
Well, I wanted to be next to your family that was there at the time, if
Oh,
I'm
which
being
one?
honest. Sally.
The hot one?
Yes.
I mean, I shouldn't say that, but keep going.
Yes. And
Okay.
so as we were there, it was just like, we were walking a whole group, and I never hid behind a bush. Everyone hid behind a bush, and then it wasn't even that car. I'm like, how freaky you guys look right now?
Yeah.
So, anyway, we keep walking, and then we get behind this red van, and there I see it, Eden's truck. Thinking, oh, now's the time to hide, and that's when, I believe she talked about Sean, he was with us, that's when he kind of split, and went more with you and your group,
Well, yeah. Oh, no, just me and him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you had Wolf, man.
Well, Wolford and
Oh,
Kerr
he got
went with
caught.
Noob.
I forgot about that.
Oh, Wolford got caught at that point?
He was caught by the
no,
end.
no.
I don't know when he got
Okay.
No, Wolford didn't get caught at all.
Oh, did he not?
Okay.
Oh, good for him. But anyway,
Later.
as I was saying, we go and boom, everyone gets spotted except for me and the tall guy and the circle. Can't remember their names if I'm being honest.
Their names are Deep Throat and Maverick, by the
Yeah,
way.
sorry, I couldn't remember. Tall guy is Deep Throat.
Yeah.
Round guy is
Maverick.
So yeah, they don't get caught. I don't know if anybody else, but the people that I was there with and sort of guiding, they all got caught. So I thought, well, I have nothing to live for. So as Eden was driving off, I kind of ran in his blind side until he kind of slowed down and I ran into his truck and I yelled a profanity.
Really? What profanity?
Shoot.
Oh,
Except for I said shoot. I didn't actually swear.
Oh, okay.
Because there was lots of people around and I don't swear in private either.
Okay. That's fair.
Lots of people think I do.
Okay, calm down. Let's continue this.
Yeah, and so he says, "Oh, Eagle-Eye," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, darn it, you found me," and I went and sat, but there were a bunch of bricks in his truck, so I didn't get to sit by Sally, so my plan didn't even work.
That sucks.
Yeah,
I don't-
and maybe if we have extra time after, I'll share a different Fugitive story, unrelated to this
Oh, is it
one Fugitive game.
for the podcast or is it
For
just
the this is a special one because it's our 5 subscribers special.
That's right. All right. Well, Noob, do you have anything you want to share?
Anything to add? Or
Oh,
just gonna
yeah.
be your boring self.
Oh yeah, but like back
Love it.
when Observant here went the other way at the bridge, me, Kerr, and Wolford just like went along the fence but we didn't think there was a way over. Turns out there never was. So we just hopped over a barbed wire fence. Anyway, fast forward like 10 minutes. We were at an intersection. We run across. We see, oh, what's his face? Corey just driving over. So we just book it, and we all just hide in our own little separate spot. Oh my heck, sorry, I can't talk. Places. And I just stand there like a doe in the headlights. And so I just lay down where I'm at. And they just drive right past me, and they did not see me.
The thing is, Eden's truck was very loud, so it was really easy to hear when it was coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he's one of those, like, hey, look, ladies, I have
He's
2 inches.
He's a self-proclaimed cowboy.
He used to talk like this. He used to try and talk with more of a posh British accent.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
But now he
makes
talks
sense.
like this because
And then his parents divorced, and he moved down south, and now he thinks he's a cowboy.
he moved to St. George, by the way.
Yeah, it's
All right.
it's in
Anyway.
southern Utah.
Anyway, Noob, continue.
Anyway,
I forgot he was talking.
fast forward like 10 more minutes. We came to the safe spot. And anyway, we all just split up again. And the safe spot was on the other side of this building, but I didn't know that, and so I accidentally went to the other side of the building, and I'm like, why isn't anybody here? And then I realized I was in the wrong spot, so I just go on a dead sprint all the way to the other side of the building. It was the craziest thing of my life. I'm not even kidding.
I
Oh.
clapped for you.
So you made it to the place then,
Yeah,
right?
I did not get caught,
Okay.
but like that whole game, it was
All
like,
right.
crazy.
So now we're gonna go into some of our pro strats, and this is more for like the larger scale because smaller scale is actually a lot more difficult.
Yeah, smaller scale, there's lots of unique, interesting metas that you have to look at, you know.
Yeah.
Like who your hunter is, where they look, where they hide is typically where they will also look,
But
you know.
we're gonna mostly focus on the large scale, and it's kind of the same.
Yeah, that's where I have most of my experience personally.
So the thing
Oh,
is, you
yeah.
gotta know your hunter. So
Exactly. That's where I was going to say.
So, my thing was, Eden is from a place far away from here, and he's not from my hometown, and so he wouldn't think about different routes. He would only go a set route and make a set route because that's the only way he could see it happening, even though there were several others that he could do. So know the area you're going to do before you get into it.
Yeah, as Observant said, he knew the hunter, so he knew that this unexperienced person wasn't going to go many of the back roads. He was just going to follow the road that he knows because he's unintelligent and can't think of others' opinions, but that's more on that later.
Maybe a different episode.
Maybe a different episode. So, again, on that knowing your hunters, not just the hunters, the person themselves, but also the vehicles they drive. You know, as I said in my story, you know, vehicles would drive past and everyone in my group would just dive into the bushes, you know.
However, his truck was really loud, so try and understand how it sounds.
Yeah.
And recognize what their headlights look like, because usually they have a unique look to them, and that'll help you know whether or not it is.
Yeah,
the
check the
right
model
vehicle.
of the car and memorize its headlights. Even if you see a similar vehicle, that's worth hiding for, you know?
Yeah, and if you hide, don't move. Even if you think you're caught, don't move anyway, because they might not actually see you. Like,
Yes.
they might think that there was nothing there and it was something messing with their head. Like,
yeah, like with me when I just laid down and they didn't see me.
Yeah,
It was,
I know from a lot of personal experience that sometimes you'll see something or you'll be seen, but you just hold very still. Because that's how the eyes work. You know, your peripheral vision can't really see colors, so instead of colors, it recognizes movement instead. Pro tip for you there.
One
Don't move.
strategy: plan your route out in your head and take into account.
Definitely.
Also take into account who you're going to be going with, because usually you don't want to be by yourself, because that could be a little
it's
bit
boring. Here,
Yeah.
And, you know, let me finish this off with a story. Another fugitive story. Where we kind of had bad strategies. 66% of us made it. There were 3 in our group.
Oh.
1 fell. Rip them. So,
rest
me
in
and these
peace.
2 girls, you know, we go... Don't worry, they both have, like, boyfriends and crap. Let's sigh.
Oh, it makes me jealous.
Yeah, so, anyway, so we're at Kerr's house, I believe, and we're trying to go to one of these, churches.
Oh, this was a different fugitive that I wasn't
was a-
able to attend because I had to go home. because we weren't doing anything until like 12, and I didn't want to.
Yeah, they literally didn't do anything, and everyone was planning on leaving. But then they were like, oh, "Please don't leave me." So then
they started it right as they left.
Literally right as he left. I forgot to call him and say, "Hey, we're doing stuff now." But anyway, I was with these two wonderful ladies, and they think, "Hey, people aren't gonna go this clear back route. People are never gonna look there, so that's where we should walk." So freaking literally like 4 miles later, we arrive at the church going the back routes. And, we didn't know our captor, our hunter's vehicles. So every car we found, we jumped in and we were going the back road. So there was lots of like pokey things, lots of brush and everything. It was not a good time. And then we finally make it to the church. We take an awesome selfie, but it was in the dark, so I turned the brightness up so you could sort of see it. And then we head back, and we think that was too long of a trip. There's no way we could do that again. It's getting pretty late. Let's just head straight back. So then we go there, and then we see it. The 2 people I was with, they jump and hide. Is that his truck? They say to
Was it Eden?
It wasn't Eden. He wasn't.
Justina.
Huh?
Justina Guimond.
I think it was Justina.
Okay.
I don't know. So we go, and the truck just drives past. So I'm about to lean and reveal my 2 compadres, and then the truck backs up, shines a flashlight right on me, and says, "Eagle-Eye!" The person had a stupid voice, very stupid.
He does have kind of a dumb voice.
Stupid voice.
Anywho.
Anywho, I go in, and I get very upset. I tell them, my people made me walk this long route, and they're going back there again. They were I couldn't handle it, so I left them. I'm all alone. We're going this way. So, your boy Eagle-Eye took the truck, took helm. First, we went and peed, because I really had to pee, because it took like 3 hours for this whole thing to happen.
That's fair.
So I went and peed, but I took forever peeing in a place that was nowhere near Kerr's house. And then I said, they went this back route. That's where we'll find them. And we went. And then I slowly started texting one of the girls. I only had the one's number. And I was like, "Hey, how are you guys doing?" I'm distracting them as much as I can. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it was just me, the driver guy, dude, and then some obnoxious girl in the back. Holy cow, she was obnoxious. And then it's finally like, everyone's here. We're just waiting for you guys to get back. I'm like, "Oh, sweet. Yay, they made it." I was so happy. So we drive back, and I'm talking with the obnoxious girl. Turns out we had the same plan. Both of us were like, "Hey, let's go to this other place." No, let's go to this other place, because I was telling out where her people were, and she was telling where my people were.
That the end of your story?
That's the end of my story.
Okay, one last note.
What a lovely story.
Yeah.
One last note before we close off. We asked permission from Marquette and Tayden to use their real names. And so the last episodes weren't their real names, but now we get permission to use their real names.
Yeah.
So, like and subscribe if you want to see more. Check out Noob 444 channels. He's going to start uploading again. And
I can't wait. I'm very excited.
You guys better get pumped, because you got a lot of fun coming.
All right.
Wow. That was more inappropriate than I thought.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all later.
I've been Eagle-Eye.
I've been Observant, and this has been our special backseat guest.
I've been a noob.
Noob 444. See you later.
See ya.